Some people think that the Certificate of Entitlement, or COE, can be bought from LTA. Well, this isn't how it works. So, how exactly is the COE price determined? Hi, this is Galvin from Vince Automotive Group. Allow me to enlighten you so in this video. So, in the first place, what is a COE? This Certificate of Entitlement that adds 100,000 to a new car's price tag. Well, just picture the COE as an invite to get you into a branded bag store so that you can buy one bag from the store. But this invite isn't free. You have to pay for it. And it's not that you can pay a fixed price for it. You have to bid for it in the first place. So, put technically, the COE is actually a document that gives you the right to buy, own and operate a new car. Well, a motorcycle, van or truck too. A vehicle will be more correct. Yes, you have to bid for the COE, and after you get it and buy a vehicle, it will only last for 10 years. After that, you can pay to renew the COE for another 5 or 10 years, but that's another topic for another video. For many years now, COEs are placed into 5 categories. In order to own and operate a vehicle, you need a COE of the appropriate category. So, for Category A or Cat A, you can register the COE to a car of up to 1,600cc and 97 kilowatts or 130 bhp. For Cat B, it will be for a car above 1,600cc or 97 kilowatts or 130 bhp. Now, note that it's N for Cat A and OR for Cat B. That's because even if the car is below 1,600cc, but it has a powerful engine that exceeds 130 bhp, it will be classified under Cat B. So, that's the reason why you have seen more turbocharged cars in the past few years being brought into Singapore. These cars have a relatively low capacity or CC, and their horsepower rating can be tuned down to below 130 bhp too. But turbocharged cars have great torque, so they are still quick off from the standstill, even though they have low CCs. Anyway, this should be another topic for another video too. Back to the COE categories. Cat C is for all goods vehicles and buses, and Cat D is for all motorcycles. And Cat E is an open category for all vehicles except motorcycles. For this video, I'll be referring more towards the Cat A and Cat B categories for cars, but COE prices are determined the same for all categories. So, now that you understand what's a COE and how are they categorized, let's discuss why COE has to be bidded. Well, you see, the purpose of the COE is to control the number of vehicles on the roads in Singapore. Given our small landscape, we cannot have an unlimited number of cars. Otherwise, we'll end up like many big cities where traffic jams are horrible. That's why LTA releases a certain number of COEs per 3 months. And this quota is known as the Vehicle Quota System or VQS. Since the quota is limited, not everyone who wants a COE will be able to get one. One way to distribute the number of limited COEs to all the people who wants one is a lucky draw system. In China, this is how they control the car population, through a ballot. But hey, here in Singapore, the government has determined decades before that a bidding system is more logical. Because, well, people pay a lot in a bid when demand outstrips supply, right? That's why COEs are bidded. So, car buyers try to outbid against each other to win the COE or COEs that they need. Yes, there's no limit to how many COEs you can bid. So, today, car dealers like us at Vault can bid a few at a time for all our clients. So, like all auctions, a bid has a starting price. It starts at $1 and each increment is also $1. That means, if someone else bids at $1, you just need to put a bid of $2 to win them. But then, how come we are seeing COE prices of $99,999? Well, that's demand coming into play. I'll share more about this in the next video. But back to this $1 bid. We have actually ever seen COEs at $1 or $2 before when the demand for COEs is less than the supply. Well, in my opinion, we won't likely see those COE prices anymore. Not unless the car buyers are killed by a zombie apocalypse and no one is buying cars anymore. Okay, so now to answer the question at the start of this video, how is COE price determined? And for that matter, can you buy a COE based on what the previous COE price was? Let me take the second question first. The answer is no. So, in the bid, which happens on 2 Mondays to Wednesdays every month, bidders like us will have access to 2 figures. First, we will know how many COEs are there available for this round. And second, we will also know what was the price of the previous COE. Now, does the price of the previous COE matter when it comes to the current bid? Well, I would say strictly it doesn't, but it can give a psychological effect to bidders to bid at around that price. So, if the previous COE was at 99,999, psychologically, most bidders will reckon by experience that the COE won't deviate too far from that amount. It can be a few thousand plus or minus, but it won't be at $10,000. And moreover, bidding is open, meaning everyone can see what the latest bid price is. So, if you saw someone bid 50,000, you won't ever bid 49,999. In fact, you can't do that in the first place. That's why prices usually end up more or less around the same range. Anyway, back to how the price is being determined. The bidding starts at $1. That's the current COE price or CCP. The second bidder, which can be anyone who's locked in during the bidding, can put in the same price or a higher price. Or he can actually immediately raise it to $50,000, knowing the psychology that's involved from the previous price. So, assuming the CCP is at $50,000, the next bidder has to bid higher. So now, the CCP keeps rising, and in an actual bidding session, it can get very stressful at the last few minutes of the bidding window because the CCP rises very quickly as hundreds of people put in their bids at the same time. Anyway, when time is up, ending the bidding exercise, the topmost bidders within the quota will get their COEs at the CCP. So now, what is the COE price? Let me illustrate with a simple example of 5 available COEs with 10 people bidding for it. So, when the bidding is on, the CCP price that you see is actually the 6th highest bidder's price plus $1. You actually cannot see the 5th and higher bidder's price. So, as I mentioned, you have to bid higher than the CCP and as well as the 5th person's price in order to get into the top 5. Okay? However, you actually do not know what the 5th person's price is. So, for example, if we were to place a price, the current COE price is at $50,000. We would probably place a price of $51,000 in order to squeeze into the top 5. If the CCP price changes to below our bid, it actually means that we have actually squeezed into the top 5. However, vice versa, if the CCP price increases above our current bid of $51,000, it will mean that we are still out of the top 5. Now, when the bidding ends, the top 5 who bid the highest will win, as I previously mentioned. However, they don't all pay at the price they actually bidded. Instead, all 5 of them will pay the CCP price, which in this case, for example, is $50,000. So good news for the top bidder who might have bidded at, for example, $80,000. But bad news for the 6th bidder who probably put in a 49,999 bid. Therefore, in the real world, with, for example, 505 COEs available for instance, all the top 505 bidders will pay at the 506 bidder's price plus $1, while anyone from the 506 onwards will actually lose out. Oh, by the way, if you think this is like an auction where you can get, say, 100 friends to fix the bids, take note you actually need to deposit $10,000 for each bidder for all the car categories. And for each bid that you place and do a revision, you also have to pay $10 fee. So now, I hope you have a better understanding of how COE price is being determined. Given the number of bidders involved, it's very difficult to see it going down to below $20,000 given anytime soon. Well, unless all the bidders fix their bids so that they all won't bid more than $1 increments, or that by some miracle, supply of COE is actually more than demand. Or perhaps if you are back to the valley period of the 10-year COE cycle. Well, even if you want to bid for your own COE, you need to deposit $10,000 upfront at first. I tell you, having bidded hundreds of times, COE bidding can actually give you a heart attack sometimes. That's why almost all of our clients entrust their COE biddings to us. Anyway, if you've learned something in this video, do give us a like and subscribe so that you'll get the other videos in the series when they are out. Don't forget to ring the notification bell too. So, in the next video, I'm going to share with you the reason why COE is so high now. And subsequently, I'll let you in on the insider strategy of when is the best time to buy new cars and what you can do currently if you really need to get a car. Once again, I'm Galvin from Vince Automotive Group or VOG, and I'll see you soon.